Hi, everyone. Welcome to episode number 5 of Stop, Who Does That? Headline Highlights. On today's episode, we will be covering updates on the Slender Man inspired killer Morgan Geyser. Remember her?
Mhm.
Texas A&M cheerleader suicide Brianna Aguilera, wannabe family annihilator Micah Smith from Utah, and a little update on the Epstein files. Ending, as always, with our Florida Man Google roulette. I'm Jackie.
And I'm Jenna.
And we hope you had a wonderful weekend. We had a really nice, relaxing weekend, stuck around the house for a little bit so the kids could play with the neighbors, watched a lot of movies, and went for a nice little hike. How about you, Jenna?
That sounds enjoyable. It was cold. I hope you bundled up.
Yeah.
It was very cold this weekend. I did get some Christmas shopping done. I went to the mall. I braved the crowds at the mall. And I did get a decent amount of Christmas shopping done. I have to report, though, that I did not start any wrapping. We'll probably wait until the last minute
Of
for
course.
the wrapping.
That's what we all do. That's what moms do. We wait till
Yeah.
the night before, and we hope that they don't wake up in the middle of the night
Yeah.
and catch us doing it, or else they're going to know there's no Santa. I don't know if your boys are past that point, but my kids still kind of
They don't believe anymore, which it's, it's okay because now I can just freely say, I'm going Christmas shopping. I'll be back later.
Fun fact, I was never allowed to believe in Santa Claus.
I know.
My mom was very religious, and when she was younger, her mom always was like into magical thinking and Disney, and she led my mom to believe that Santa was real until my mom was 13 years old, and she got picked on by the kids at school because they were like, "You're 13, how do you still believe in Santa Claus?" So from that moment on, she vowed, my kids are never going to believe in Santa Claus, so we can just avoid this embarrassment later.
Yeah, no, no worries about the kids. They'll be fine.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I've been traumatized my whole life.
Great.
All right. Well, let's get into it. Jenna, what is going on with Slenderman girl Morgan Geyser? I heard she broke out of her ankle monitor.
Yeah, Jackie, we have breaking news out of Wisconsin. According to Scripps News Milwaukee, Morgan Geyser's attorney is asking a judge to move her out of jail and back into her mental health facility. Like you said, she escaped the mental health facility and cut off her ankle monitor. And then they caught her and they just threw her right in jail. Geyser's attorney, Tony Cotton, wrote to Wahooska County Judge Scott Wagner, arguing it is improper to keep Geyser in jail because she faces no new criminal charges in the county. Just to recap, she is now 23 years old. Morgan Geyser is one of 3 girls involved in the 2014 Slender Man stabbing of classmate Peyton Lautner. All 3 of the girls were 12 years old. They were in 6th grade when this happened. So it was horrific crime of a 12-year-old girl. So she had been living in this supervised group home because she was 12 years old when this happened. She returned to Wisconsin after being arrested in Posen, Illinois, for cutting off the ankle monitor and fleeing. Just to recap and for context, if anyone doesn't know who Slender Man is, he's a fictional internet-created character. He's very tall, thin, faceless figure. He kind of has these like octopus, like tentacle hands coming out from his arms. He was created in he was created kind of like a cartoon character, fictional internet cartoon character.
Kind of like Siren Head.
Yeah.
I don't know if my son was like obsessed with Siren Head, and I'm like, what is this? And it's just a fictional internet creepy character.
Yeah, so this creepy, Slender Man character was often associated online in this cartoon form. He was known for basically stalking and harming children. That's who this character was. Like, we know there's all sorts of weird shit out there on the internet. So
exactly.
One of them, these 12-year-old girls took a liking to this fictional character.
And she got sucked into the folklore.
Yeah, she got sucked into
They were appeasing Slender Man by hurting
They were inspired by him.
Inspired, yes.
Yeah, they were inspired, and then they were, kind of appeasing him, trying to prove themselves to this fake fictional character.
I believe they led Peyton into the woods and then they started stabbing her with the other girl involved, unnamed girl. She was egging Morgan on to continue stabbing Peyton, I believe. So I think they wanted to go back to Slenderman somehow. I don't even know how they thought they could communicate with
Yeah,
Slenderman, right?
mind you, they're 12 years old. This is,
12-year-olds,
yeah,
and they're like,
you don't know what
"Let's
they're
stab
doing.
our friend, and we're gonna show him that we can hurt other kids, and maybe he'll bring us into his little fictional world." I don't know. 12-year-olds definitely can be sucked into things very easily and in that
Mhm.
alternate universe, if you will. But what was really disturbing to me was her friend, Morgan's friend, egging her on while she was
Yeah,
stabbing Peyton. That's disgusting.
it's sickening. I think she should have went right to jail. Anyway, she went to this group home, and
Right.
what wound up happening when she escaped, she was found with Chad Charlie Mecca, a 43-year-old transgender woman. She fled the group home to be together with this
To be
woman.
with her.
Yeah. And so they didn't want to be separated. Mecca told UKOW, quote, "She ran because of me." Mecca claimed Geyser was being mistreated in the group home and they were threatening to take away visitation from her. Geyser begged Mecca for help, telling her, "They'll take away our visitation. Charlie, please. You're my best friend." Mecca also told police that before their escape, Geyser admitted, "I was ready to drink bleach." That's how
Wow.
bad it was in this group home. She was very emotionally
Mhm,
distressed, and this contributed to the running away.
mhm.
According to the police, the two of them were found sleeping on a sidewalk near a truck stop. They may have been attempting to travel to Nashville, Tennessee, is what the police said. Mecca is now also facing charges in Illinois related to this. Cotton
That's
Geyser's attorney
Yep.
is requesting that Geyser be transferred back to the Winnebago mental health facility where she escaped. She had been treated here before the release.
Yeah, so I think her attorney is saying, "Why are you putting her in prison?
Yeah.
She already she's been in this group home for years. She needs to be in a mental health facility. She didn't commit, I guess, a true crime in their eyes." I
Yeah.
guess.
So fighting to go back to the place she tried to escape
Right,
because she
exactly,
doesn't
because
want to be in jail. Well,
right.
I don't know what to tell you, Morgan, and maybe you should have thought about that before
Yeah.
cutting off your ankle monitor and running away.
I mean, she's clearly disturbed. She's been
Yeah.
disturbed for a long time. She probably just thought, "Let me get to my best friend and get out of here." She lacks introspection where she can think about her decisions before she makes them. Clearly, at age 12, she wasn't doing that. And now at age 23, she's still not able to do
Yeah.
that. So,
Yeah.
very short sighted decision there.
Mhm. Yeah, so we're definitely going to continue watching this case and update you if, in fact, the judge orders her to return to the mental health facility or decides that she must remain in jail. That's what's going on right now. So that's that on Morgan. And Jackie, you have some updates on the Texas A&M cheerleader suicide.
Yes. So this is really taken a turn. 19-year-old Texas A&M student Brianna Aguilera was found unresponsive outside a high-rise near University of Texas Austin in the early hours of November 29th. Austin police have preliminary ruled the death a suicide, citing a deleted note found on her phone and prior comments about self-harm. Now, it just doesn't end there. Her mother is saying that Brianna was not suicidal. Her mother says, "We spoke daily. She was planning on taking the LSATs, going to law school. She was looking forward to ordering her Aggie ring. She had a 4.0 GPA." So, according to her mother, Stephanie Rodriguez, Brianna was looking forward to the future. She had her head on straight. She was working really hard to become a future attorney. The mother is also describing some inconsistencies with the stories that she's been getting from the girl's friends. She additionally noted that it was uncharacteristic of Brianna to switch her phone into do not disturb mode, which started happening around 6 p.m. before the alleged suicide occurred around midnight that evening. When she turned on Do Not Disturb mode, it also stopped sharing her location, which was
Mhm.
especially alarming to Brianna's mother because their relationship was very
Mhm.
transparent, and Brianna would always share her location with her mother. The evening of Brianna's unfortunate demise occurred uh, in a high-rise apartment. Brianna was found around midnight after she fell to her death from 17 stories.
Mhm.
There were reports that there were about 15 people in the apartment, and there are some video evidence to show that a majority of the people left shortly before Brianna fell to her death. Brianna's mother says that there was a fight that Brianna had earlier that day in a text exchange with another girl, and that her mother did see these text messages. And she also criticized the police delaying interviews with the others that were at the apartment until the next day. So instead of doing them the night of the incident, they waited till the afternoon the next day to interview people.
Mhm.
And she thinks that that gives them enough time to come up with a story.
Corroborate.
Yeah. Stephanie Rodriguez, her mother, believes someone there at the apartment knew what happened. She says, quote, "My daughter was not suicidal. I know my daughter better than anyone. We spoke every day. I spoke to her on the 25th, the 26th, the 27th, even the morning of the 28th. She was not suicidal." Now, enter Tony Busby, a well-known attorney in Houston, Texas. Pitbull. He is a high-powered pit bull attorney based in Houston, Texas, and if his name sounds familiar to you, it is because he has filed so many civil suits against P. Diddy in the last few years. So you probably heard his name come up
Mhm.
many times. I personally followed Tony Busby. I think he's a brilliant attorney. He did a joint news conference with the Gamez law firm, which is the Aguilera family attorney, and Aguilera's mother, Stephanie. He argued that the awesome PD does not have the authority to rule her cause of death a suicide. I could give you some quotes, but I'd love to show you a clip of him just
Mhm.
so you can get a feel for how he is and how confident he is of an attorney. So let's play a clip.
That's irresponsible. That's irresponsible. You should not do that. You should say, wait a minute, detective. How many times have you been written up and reprimanded? Detective. Wait a minute. When did you have the statutory authority, detective, to determine cause of death? Detective. That's your job. Now it's my job. Public dissemination of information by the Austin Police Department during an investigation, the way it was done yesterday, is unethical, unprofessional, incredibly damaging to an objective, unbiased investigation. And it's also damaging to the memory of this child. All this family is asking for is a thorough, complete, unbiased, open minded investigation. That's all they're asking for. Like any parent would ask for, whose child went to college, went to a game, lost her for several hours, and then find out hours and hours later that she supposedly jumped off a balcony. And with just a few questions, a few pointed questions, quickly figure out that these investigators, this so-called investigator, did not know what he was talking about.
Mm,
I'm going to get into that. You can't close a case before you even have the cause of death from the medical examiner.
amen.
Period. Full stop.
I just want to pause there because that reminds me of the Ellen Greenberg case, does it not?
Mhm. Yeah, because
Where they
you're not even getting the full report from the medical examiner and you're jumping to suicide. You can't do that. Makes no logical sense.
Yet it seems like it happens so much. In this case, he's calling into question these detectives and perhaps their history of investigations and their legitimacy. So that's what I love about Tony Busby is he's not afraid to
Yeah,
call out.
he's
And
great. Yeah.
yeah, he really is. I love his use of pauses where he just lets it simmer for a second and
Yeah. And he's
lets it
right.
sink in.
I mean, I agree with him.
Now, he did ask Governor Abbott, the Texas
Mhm.
governor, to have the Texas Rangers investigate the case. And he called the alleged suicide note an essay from a creative writing class, questions using it as proof of intent. Later in that same interview, he says, quote, then he, the detective, gets into her phone and sees an essay that she wrote, and he calls it a suicide note.
Mhm.
She took a creative writing class the semester before, Busby said. We'll never know what the purpose of what she wrote and deleted, but this is the suggestion, was that she left a suicide note. Total malarkey, end quote. Like, wait. He also stated that around the time of Aguilera's death, there was a TikTok video made about an altercation at the same apartment. There was fighting, screaming, and someone yelling, "Get off of me," in the video, Busby said. He ended that same interview saying, this isn't a conspiracy claim. He just alleges incompetence and wants a complete investigation.
There should be. There should be a complete investigation. Also, she did have a boyfriend. I would love to know how that interview went, if they even interviewed the boyfriend. She had a boyfriend, and then all these other people at the same place at the same time. That could be over 15 suspects. I think every one of them should have been interviewed that night.
Yeah. Waiting till the next day gives them plenty of time to come up with
Hmm?
a story. Now, here's the thing. If they were texting each other about it and they later get
Yeah.
subpoenaed for trial, it's all going to come out
That
eventually.
that is a good also is the texting in the Karen Reed case.
Oh,
When everybody
yes.
was
Oh.
texting, they pulled those records, and those text messages were extremely important to the case. So,
They were vague, but enough that you're like,
mhm.
something's going on here. And how about every single one of them? They swapped their phone out for a new one.
Yes.
And the one guy, the DEA agent, he drove his old phone to some dumpster
Yeah.
site. Like,
And before they're questioned, I could see this group of kids doing the same thing.
yeah. And again, we're not accusing anyone of anything,
Mhm.
but we're just speculating that there could be a lot of time here that could work to their advantage before things can get underway. But at the end of the day, I'm so glad Tony Busby is involved because he's going to get shit done.
Absolutely.
All right, Jenna, tell us about this Utah wannabe family annihilator. This story just broke my heart.
Yeah, this is a heartbreaking story, and I think we're all familiar with family annihilator. That's a person, typically a man, who kills his entire family, kids, wife,
Chris
often
Watts,
the pets. Yeah,
that kind of
um,
person.
like a Chris Watts type of killer. So this man, Micah Smith, is going along the likes of these family annihilators based on what he did back on October 11th. This story comes from Salt Lake City, Utah. Micah Smith is 31 years old. He is being accused of torturing and endangering his three young children. Three very young children.
Not one, but three.
Three during a hike in Big Cottonwood Canyon. This hike took place on October 11th of this year. According to prosecutors, Smith took the children, ages 2, 4, and 8 years old, on a hike in this Big Cottonwood Canyon. The weather was rapidly deteriorating. Conditions were becoming dangerous. His wife was at home texting with him, pleading to come home. Like, stop the hike, take the kids home. The conditions are getting very bad, very cold, pleading with him to bring the children home. Smith disregarded her text messages. He forced the children to continue going forward. The terrain was becoming treacherous, the weather was turning bad, and he just kept pushing the kids to keep going. The Salt Lake County District Attorney Sam Gill said Smith continued in a depraved manner to put them at risk as the situation worsened. The family spent the night now in the snowy mountains. It's
Oh
that
my
cold.
gosh.
Now
And they're
it's
probably
dark.
not dressed appropriately for that. And I just did a quick Google search. I asked Google, Salt Lake City lows in October, and it can get as low as 39 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, it's the conditions were horrible. And like you said, Jackie, if they left during the day, they may have only had a t-shirt and shorts on.
Right.
They were rescued. Thank God. They actually were rescued the next day. probably because the wife was calling the
Frantic.
police, yeah,
Yeah.
desperate to get her children home. So when the rescue teams did locate him and the 3 children, Smith was reportedly behaving extremely odd. He didn't seem concerned about the children whatsoever. The
My
8-year-old was
God.
found next to a boulder with a few sticks stacked against it, most likely for some kind of wind shelter.
Yeah.
The 2-year-old, and this is really heartbreaking, the 2-year-old was discovered underneath his 4-year-old
Oh.
brother.
So he was trying to keep him warm.
The big brother was trying to keep the 2-year-old child warm. The 4-year-old Utley was mostly exposed. He was unconscious and appeared lifeless when the rescue teams found them. He actually had no pulse, and his body temperature had plummeted to 62 degrees Fahrenheit due
Oh
to
my
severe
God.
hypothermia. I know, as a parent, this is so sickening. It's hard to even talk about that. It's just absolutely
And just think,
disgusting.
your body temperature is supposed to be around 98
Mhm.
degrees. That is such a significant drop. Oh
So
my
the
gosh.
children, of course, were rushed to the hospital where the 4-year-old actually suffered a stroke. The
Yeah.
4-year-old from hypothermia, and he remains critically ill at the primary children's hospital in Salt Lake City. So this is just absolutely reckless on the father's behavior with this. Your parents are supposed to protect you and take care of you. He failed these kids. He failed his wife. You're literally killing your kids. You're
And
exposing them.
it's a slow burn too. It's not like,
So
oh
yeah,
my
you're
God.
definitely not putting their care first and foremost. And prosecutors did note concerning behavior. Prosecutors say that Smith's behavior had already begun spiraling before this hiking incident. So before October 11th, he started
Mhm.
exhibiting strange behavior. The month before this, he was arrested and charged in a domestic violence case. Not surprising. He was also trespassed from Primary Children's Hospital for trying to interfere with one of the child's
Oh
medical
my
care.
God. Can you imagine if he was trying to get in there to, like,
I'm
mess
just
with
gonna say, yeah,
the ventilators
yeah,
or
he seems like a real fucking asshole. And I just am so like repulsed by this man. He was charged with a domestic violence incident on November 15th.
so after this?
Yeah, so after the
Yeah.
hike, then he was charged with the domestic violence incident. The police were called to a Salt Lake City Airbnb where the family was saying to be close to the hospital for their
Where
son.
he put his kids,
Yeah, which was
he put them in
all
the
his doing.
hospital.
Yeah, so now they're staying at an Airbnb to be by the child's side. Smith's wife, Samantha, told officers she and Micah were getting divorced. And
As
she
they
had,
should.
as, as they should
Good
be,
for her.
she had returned from spending the night with her new boyfriend. I can see why Micah is getting a little bit out of
Elevated.
sorts here. Yeah.
Yeah.
She found Smith refusing to leave the shower. When she returned to the Airbnb, she
He
found
got in.
Micah, yeah, refusing to leave the shower, and her belongings were dumped outside on the driveway. He seems
What an
very
asshole.
unhinged, very volatile, very unhinged. You all were just rescued, and on top of everything that he put these kids and
Yeah.
Samantha through, now he's torturing her on top of it all. He just
Yeah.
won't leave her alone. A physical altercation followed this, not surprising. This is between Micah Smith, Samantha, and the new boyfriend.
Mhm.
So now this was a physical altercation involving all 3 of these adults. And Smith was arrested again and charged with misdemeanor assault and damaging a communications device. I don't know what you think that means, Jackie.
Probably a cell phone. He probably
Yeah.
broke a cell phone.
Yeah, he probably smashed it to a
Yeah.
million pieces. So there was a court hearing just a couple weeks ago in late November of this year. Smith appeared virtually in the 3rd District Court. His attorney requested he be released from jail. Prosecutor Clifford Ross responded with a firm, hard no. That's a hard no.
Yeah.
Insisting Smith posed a significant safety risk, literally, to Samantha, their kids, and I'm thinking at this time, any person that
Comes in
rubbed him the
contact with
wrong
the
way.
family.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
He was a very,
boyfriend, everyone.
yeah, very,
Jenna, it does sound like he wasn't initially charged with abusing the children back in
yeah,
October, because
I
why would he be out of jail? So it
so
sounds like it all probably came together in late
thank
November,
God.
you
Yeah.
think?
So yeah, so now these assault charges, which we
Mhm.
know are pretty major, he has from the November incident. So Commissioner Todd Olson agreed with the hard no in releasing him, stating there is substantial evidence to support the charges in this case, and I do find by a clear and convincing standard that you would be a danger to the
Mhm.
alleged victims if you were released today. Smith is being held at until his detention hearing, which is today, Monday, December 8th.
December 8th.
Yep, before Judge Elizabeth Ruby Mills, and is barred from contacting his children, thank God, under a newly issued protective order.
So
So,
maybe later today or tomorrow we'll have an update
yeah, so we
on.
will definitely be updating you guys on what the outcome of this detention hearing is. But I think we both know, Jackie, that if he is released, this is not going to end well for
No, I
you.
hope he gets
Yeah.
put away for a while, because this guy is a ticking time bomb, clearly. It sounds to me like he and his wife were on the rocks for a while.
Mhm.
And as you know, we've heard these family annihilator stories so many times that usually a preceding motivation to them wanting to take the whole family out is marital troubles, right?
Yep.
So it sounds to me like he thought, let's just take the whole family out because she doesn't want to be with me anymore.
Exactly. And she's gonna do that to me, then she can't have
Yeah.
our kids. It does
He
sound
sounds like a classic
premeditated.
narcissist
Yep.
too, you know?
Yeah. Very
Yeah.
controlling, very aggressive. And this entire thing sounds premeditated. And hopefully we can praying that he stays in jail for the kids and Samantha's sake.
Just to protect them. And I hope the 4-year-old doesn't have any lasting damage from that stroke too.
I know. I know.
I really hope he makes a full recovery as all the children, but I'm sure it's so traumatic for
Yeah.
them.
We'll keep our eyes on it. Now, Jackie is going to share with us 2 brief updates of some headline highlights cases we have been following.
All right. Well, we told you we would keep following up, and we will. Here's an update that occurred over the last week in the Travis Turner case. Since we last talked about it, nearly 2 weeks after he suddenly disappeared from his Virginia home, the search for a missing high school football coach remains in full force. Now, police are asking for the public's assistance in providing any information that may lead to Turner's whereabouts or even arrest. The U.S. Marshals issued $8,000 reward for information about his whereabouts on Monday, December 1st. So, just as a reminder, individual with a tip about Turner's location is encouraged to call 911 or Virginia State Police, or visit usmarshals.gov/tips. The Turner family attorney, Adrian Collins, revealed that Turner disappeared into the woods with a firearm on November 20th. Days after his disappearance, Turner was charged with 5 counts of child pornography and 5 counts of using a computer to solicit a minor. So it sounds like he eloped
Mhm.
before he was charged with these child pornography charges, as he probably knew they were coming. He
Mhm.
has been missing since November 20th. It doesn't sound good that he disappeared into the woods with a firearm. And I think the common theory right now is that he may have committed suicide and they're hoping they can recover a body, but nothing's been discovered yet.
Mm. Yep.
So to be gone since November 20th is a fairly long time. That's
Mhm.
about one, two. We're going on week 3 of him being missing.
Mhm.
So 21 days. That's a pretty long time for a grown man to be missing.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
we will keep you posted if they ever do find him. Our
Mhm.
last update here, we wanted to make sure you know that we're still on the case about the Jeffrey Epstein file dump that should be
Mhm.
coming any day now. We found out that a federal judge in Florida has ordered the release of material from grand jury investigations into the sex offender Jeffrey Epstein from 2005 to 2007. A similar bid was rejected earlier this year, but U.S. District Judge Rodney Smith said he was granting the Justice Department's renewed request in light of the bill that Congress passed last month requiring the DOJ to release all of its records related to Epstein. The newly passed Epstein Files Transparency Act calls for the release of unclassified records, documents, communications, and investigative materials that relate to Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. It is unclear when these materials will become public. The Justice Department said it will work with the relevant U.S. attorneys' offices to make appropriate redactions of victim-related and other personal identifying information. So this was an important update because previously people tried to make bids to have these things released in the state of Florida, but they were denied. But now they've approved it because they are literally being ordered to by the Department of Justice.
Yeah, this is a big update.
This just means we're getting closer and closer, and we will continue to keep you updated.
And you know what
we are
else
all waiting.
they did release was the pictures of
Photos. Yes,
photos
they did of Epstein
house.
Island.
Yeah, of Epstein Island, and they were truly like not what I was picturing.
The dentist chair?
Yeah,
that was
kind
weird.
of like jail. It looked like something out of a horror movie. So
It really did, and even the no trespassing sign
I
was
know.
bizarre. I mean, I know you probably have some high power clients that come there. When you have a no trespassing sign up, what are you trying to hide here?
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
lots.
I'm surprised they didn't find underground tunnels yet, but who knows? Maybe
They'll
that's
get there. Yeah, they'll get there.
We'll get there. Well, Jenna, it is time for our favorite segment to close out headline highlights, and that is our Florida Google Roulette. So let's get going. Cue the music. All right. Let me share my screen.
Yeah, tell me when you're ready.
All right. Are we doing a Florida man or Florida woman?
Well, I think we should be fair. So last time we did woman, so I think today we should go with man.
All right. And what's my date?
Okay. I'm thinking of the first date that is coming into my head, and it is January 21st.
All right. Let's see what we got. A Florida man known as the Monkey Whisperer is accused of illegally selling primates.
Ooh. that does happen.
Florida man robbed store dressed as Spider-Man.
Okay.
All right. A Florida man thought he could hide from deputies by diving underwater.
Oh gosh, this date.
There's a lot.
Was giving a lot of material. I mean, what are you thinking?
Oh, here we go. Florida man dubbed pooping perpetrator sought by police.
Right.
Okay, we won. This one won. I'm sorry. We got it.
Wow,
here.
January 21st. Who knew? This is recent.
It happened on January 21st. It happened on January 21st, 2023. Wow.
Thank you. Please
so
come
you
again.
broke in. Okay. Florida man dubbed pooping perpetrator sought by police over Joe's Crab Shack break-in. Oh, he wanted to get some crabs. Okay. Police in Florida are asking for the public's assistance in identifying a man they have dubbed the pooping perpetrator. Around 2:30 a.m. on January 21st, 2023, a man caught on surveillance video broke into Joe's Crab Shack in Fort Myers, Florida. He allegedly climbed through a small window that he broke prior to stealing multiple items, including alcohol, and defecating on the floor prior to leaving. He also stole a Joe's Crab Shack hat on a shelf and wore it as he walked around the restaurant.
Oh, gotta look good.
Fort Myers Police Department released 4 pictures and 2 videos on Facebook in hopes someone can identify the man caught with his shorts down. Quote, "Can you obtain forensic DNA from what he left behind?" one person asked in the post comments. Others suggest the man may be a disgruntled former employee or had been denied alcohol earlier in the evening. Wow.
He sure was angry about something. I mean, he definitely was seeking some revenge on the Crab Shack. He was like, no.
He was like, take a load of my shit. Here's a load of my shit. And you guys can
let me
stick it up your...
Let me grab this hat on the way out.
Let me grab a hat. I'm going to wear it. And then I'm going to pull down my pants and take a shit because who knows? Maybe he had Crohn's disease and really had to shit.
But at 2:30 in the morning.
something similar happened recently here
Yes.
in Pennsylvania. And Delco
Yes.
Pooper, remember
It
her?
was well, and also there was a woman who like just won the lottery, and she won the lottery, and then she took a shit on her boss's desk and then left. Like it just happened. It just happened. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. I think I vaguely remember hearing about that one, but the Delco Pooper one was she
Yeah.
owned it, that lady. She was like, yeah, I did. I got on the it was like a road rage incident, and she just
Yeah.
gets out and stands
Yes.
on the hood
Yes. It was.
and
It
just
was. I
shat
remember.
all over it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she said she has a medical condition, so I'm wondering if like
Yes.
the Crohn's or ulcerative colitis, those people can have over 20 bowel movements a day, and it can be so bad that they get part of their colon rerouted and have a
Yeah.
colostomy bag
Yeah.
or
No,
what have
that
you.
I remember that it was road rage, and she did it on like the hood of the car.
Yeah. Yeah,
Huh.
this is in Delaware County near
Yeah.
us.
Yeah. This was recent too. I mean, you know what? People have damn well lost their minds, to be honest. Like that's what it's come to in this world
I mean,
now.
here's the thing. Think of everyone out there, even people listening, right? You ever go through your day and you're like, wow, I don't feel good about myself. You know, I feel like such an idiot sometimes, or I just don't believe in myself. There are people that loudly and proudly will shit in public and own it, and they don't give a fuck. So
No.
you shouldn't either. You
Yeah,
should
so
make you feel good about yourself.
you should go about your day like that too. Just
Yeah.
give 0 fucks and just continue on with your day. That's the way
Yes.
you do it.
This is the part in the segment where we you know, loosen our collars and we throw some F-bombs around. But no,
One day.
stories like that, though, they make me feel better about myself. They really do. I have that internal dialogue all the time. I'm like, well, if that person could shit in public and still
I
look
love a
people in the eye.
good lighthearted pooping story. Yeah, who doesn't? Perpetrator.
Pooper perpetrator.
Oh,
Pooper.
Florida. Thank you
Florida,
again.
you are the gift that keeps on giving. You know, maybe one day we'll shift to Pennsylvania just to see what
Yeah.
fun stories come out of here. Just so we're not picking on Florida
Yeah,
all the
and
time.
we
Don't
love
worry.
Florida. You know, I think maybe we'll mix it up. We'll do
Yeah.
some Pennsylvania man stories. See what kind of, Amish or crazy things going on here.
Oh my gosh, the Amish. They probably have some interesting stuff.
We may have some good ones for you guys.
Yeah.
So,
Well, shifting gears here, we're going to close out by again thanking all of our listeners. In the last 2 weeks since we started this podcast, we have collected well over 400 downloads and views across all platforms. I don't know about you, that sounds pretty promising. I really hope that we've got something special going on here and that you enjoy listening to us. The hardest thing as a podcaster is to even hear your own voice. So I will never think my voice is great to listen to. I don't know about you, Jenna, but
well, we sure love to talk, so.
we love to talk and we love bringing you these news highlights and deep dives.
Yes.
Again, you can find us on everywhere you listen to your podcast. We are on YouTube. You can see us in real time, get our reactions. You can see the screens that I share to see the Google searches in real time. But again, we love you guys. We appreciate the support. We have a document going right now where we're collecting all of your case suggestions.
Yep, we are
Who's
tracking
suggesting
them.
and we will dedicate that episode to you once we get it going. We enjoy having your participation because you're just as much of a part of this as we are too.
Don't forget, if you do email or message us a case, we will send you a sticker bundle as well to thank you, to thank all of our listeners. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow us on all your streaming platforms.
Yes, the only way that we get any kind of support, really, if we were to be monetized, is again through subscribers and follows on the streamers. So that is the only way we get credit for you listening. So please, 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 if you can, subscribe and follow on the podcast streamers.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a great week, and we will see you again for a deep dive. We got a good one coming from Philly.
We do. Yep.
All right, take care, everyone.
Bye.